In today's video, we are going to be covering how you can easily start selling on Amazon with a very low barrier to entry. Let's jump right into it. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new on this channel, we explore tips, strategies, and experiences that I have had that will help you start and build up your Amazon FBA wholesale business. In this video, guys, we're taking a bit of a different approach. I'm moving from wholesale into some retail arbitrage content in this video. This is part of my mini video series that I've been coming out with for easy ways that you can start selling on Amazon. I want to make this process much easier for you guys and bridge the gap in knowledge that comes with starting an Amazon business, how to start an Amazon seller account, how to start an Amazon wholesale business. And today I want to cover how to start a retail arbitrage business on Amazon. Before we jump into it, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and notification bell if you want to stay up to date on the future content and videos that I keep coming out with like this. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. What is retail arbitrage? So retail arbitrage is essentially you are buying products in stores and then you're selling them on Amazon. The definition of arbitrage is that there's a gap between one market and another market. So if you're going into Walmart, Target, Marshalls, you might be buying a product for $10, but on Amazon it's selling for $30, and you are seeking to exploit that gap in the market and profit from it. So retail arbitrage, essentially all you're doing is you're going into these stores and you're scanning the barcodes of products, you're title searching for those products if they don't have barcodes, and you're comparing what the buy cost is of those products in the store with any potential discounts that you can get with the sell price on Amazon. So when you're in the store, you are actually going in without knowing what you're buying. You are literally scanning everything that you can scan. So retail arbitrage, it's not exclusive to certain categories. Primarily during my retail arbitrage journey, I sold a lot of clothing, I sold toys, I sold a lot of kitchen items and grocery items. I also sold household wear and garden items as well. So retail arbitrage, you're essentially going through the different departments at the retail store and you are searching for profitable products that you can find and sell on Amazon. We have a couple different segments in retail arbitrage. We have higher ticket flip items, and then we have everyday items, which can be replenishable products. Primarily, my retail arbitrage journey consisted of everyday products. So these were products that anyone could go into the store and buy, and there just so happened to be a gap in the market. So this was anything from clothing to shoes to household items, items that you'll see in Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Walmart, so basic items. There's also the department of higher ticket items. These are extremely in-demand items that have a very shortage of supply. So because the stores cannot keep stock on these types of items, they are going for a very high sell price on Amazon, and they're going to sell extremely quick. So what do you need to start in retail arbitrage? Essentially, all you need is your Amazon seller account and a Keepa graph. So the Keepa software costs about $17 a month, and then your Amazon seller account, if you have the professional plan, is going to cost you $40 a month. So when you go into the stores, you're scanning in your seller app, you're breaking down the buy cost, the profit, and then you're comparing the return on investment that you're going to take. You're then going to look at your Keepa chart and determine how fast does the product sell, how many sellers are on the listing, what does your competition look like. So these are all KPIs that you need to take into account before you actually purchase that product in store. A lot of these stores offer discounts on products, so you can use coupons, so that's something you're going to want to take advantage of too in order to reduce your buy cost. I also want to cover why retail arbitrage is a great business model for beginners. A few components are that there is a very low barrier to entry, meaning there's a low startup cost. So you can really go to any retail store with $50 and start buying product. There's not that much cost involved in starting a retail arbitrage business. Another great advantage of retail arbitrage when you're first starting out is that this is a totally new landscape and a totally new process for you guys. So if this is your first time selling online or selling on Amazon, you are going to get the chance to learn to send inventory into Amazon's warehouse. You're going to learn about their specific prep requirements, which include polybagging, labeling, bubble wrapping for some items. So those are all components that you are going to be able to learn ahead of time prior to jumping into a business model like wholesale or private label. So you're going to have that knowledge before you invest more money into a wholesale order. Another reason as to why this is a great transition is because you get to learn what types of products sell on Amazon, and you can even find products in stores that seem to do well, and then you can contact the supplier or manufacturer and see if you can get a wholesale account with the products that you found sourcing through retail arbitrage. One thing that's important to understand during the retail arbitrage process is that sourcing in the stores is only half of the battle in this business model, because you then have to gather all of your inventory, prep it all out, and pack it all up and send it into Amazon's fulfillment center. So my biggest pain point of this business model was that it was so incredibly time consuming, and the only way to scale it was to hire people. I want to tell you guys a little bit about my experience in retail arbitrage, what led me into wholesale. Throughout 2019, retail arbitrage was my main business model. I would go into the stores on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would be sourcing in these stores, accumulating as much inventory as possible. I would go into the stores with a set budget, a target buy cost of what I wanted to spend in these stores, and my goal was to hit the amount that I wanted to spend, of course, profitably. So once I accumulated all of my inventory, I then outsourced the prep process to an employee. I gave the employee all of my inventory so that she could prep everything out, and then I would get the inventory back and I would pack up all the boxes and send them into Amazon. So it was a very lengthy process, extremely time consuming. That's one thing about retail arbitrage, is that it's a 1-to-1 ratio in terms of the amount of hours that you work and the amount of money that you make. So that's why you need more helping hands in order to scale that business model. One person in retail arbitrage can only go so far if you want to really scale up. So a really important point, guys, that I want you to understand in retail arbitrage is that Amazon has very specific prep requirements for sending in your inventory into their warehouse. So as you're accumulating your products in stores, you do want to be mindful of a few things. One of them being is you might have price tags on the item that need to come off prior to sending your inventory in. Another thing to keep in mind is that you should document all of your receipts from these stores. You have to keep a detailed record of all of the receipts that you send in, and you should be taking pictures of those receipts next to the UPC codes of the product for proof of purchase and authenticity. This is one key point of retail arbitrage, is that because during this process we are not procuring directly from the manufacturer or an authorized distributor, by definition we are not an authorized seller. So what you have to do in order to cover yourself is you have to take pictures of your receipts and pictures of the items so that you have that proof of purchase. One risk that we run in retail arbitrage is that the brand could issue an intellectual property complaint to any unauthorized seller on the listing. I have received those before, and there are ways out of them. You have to just keep a detailed record of your receipts as you are going through the process. Stay organized from the beginning, guys, because it can get out of control very quickly if you are not organized. Once all my inventory was prepped out, I would pack it all up, and then I would close up the boxes, seal everything up, and send it into Amazon. The ideal method of doing this is sending in as much inventory as possible, because it's going to reduce your shipping cost into Amazon. Your shipping cost is going to be a pretty nominal rate depending on how many items you have, because you're sending in a bulk shipment to Amazon. So again, guys, my biggest pain point of retail arbitrage was that 1-to-1 ratio between my time and money, right? With a wholesale business, it requires much more upfront work, but once you have those wholesale accounts, it's about placing restock orders and keeping those replenishable products. That was more of a sustainable and appealing business model to me, and it's how I chose to grow my business starting in the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. Now that I've covered some of my experiences in retail arbitrage, I do want to tell you about how to get started in this business. So on the screen, you guys are going to see a list of stores that I have been to. So feel free to take a screenshot of this. A lot of these stores on this list are big box stores, but do not overlook some private stores in your area. To make this really simple for you guys, I'm going to break down the steps step by step for how to get started in retail arbitrage on Amazon. Step number 1, get your Amazon account. Step number 2, download the seller app and purchase the paid version of Keepa. Once you have these two components in, you can now go into any of these stores that I put on this list and you can start scanning items. Make sure you know how to read a Keepa graph really well. I have said this in other videos that Keepa is my Bible before I make any buying decisions. That's the case for retail arbitrage, the case for wholesale. I will never buy an item without religiously analyzing the Keepa graph prior to purchasing that item. So that's something that's really important, guys. With Keepa, you do need the paid version because without the paid version, you can only access certain features. Go into the store with a budget prior to purchasing anything. Say, okay, I want to spend $200 at Kohl's or $200 at Walmart. So you're going to go into the store, and if you can profitably spend that amount of money, then you're going to do so. Gather all of your inventory, prep it all out, pack it all up, send it into Amazon, and then go back out and source again. Guys, this is that 1-to-1 ratio. It's very time consuming, but it's a great way to accumulate capital and start to scale up your business and save that capital to invest in wholesale accounts down the road. One of the biggest issues that you're going to have with retail arbitrage is that you're going to be gated in a lot of categories, especially if you have a new Amazon account. This comes with metrics and more experience. Amazon is more likely to ungate you the more experience you have, the better your sales are, if you're showing continued growth, and if you slowly get ungated in brands. Sometimes Amazon is going to require you to have an invoice in order to get ungated in a specific category, but other times you might get auto ungated through Amazon. It's really important to not overlook auto ungating because the more brands that you're ungated in, the more likely Amazon is going to ungate you in other brands. So that's it for this video, guys. I cannot stress enough the importance of, if you want to scale through this business model, you are going to need to outsource certain components such as prepping and packing your order, and you can even outsource the sourcing process and hire people to source product. This is how you scale this type of a business model, is by getting more helping hands, because you can only be in so many places at one time and you yourself can only accumulate so much product in one sitting. So that is one of the biggest takeaways from this business model. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all of the future content that I will be coming out with. We have some more beginner videos coming out, so I'm super excited for those. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.